Welcome back. 85-year-old Nigerian traditional ruler sentenced to death by hanging, court give. Alright, the news in detail. An 85-year-old monarch has been sentenced to death by hanging by a high court sitting in Akwa Ibom. The court convicted Chief Isan Matthew Idong of charges bordering on murder and 7 years imprisonment with hard labor for directing unlawful trial by ordeal and 3 years imprisonment for conspiracy with others who are now at large. Meanwhile, the village head has been sentenced and who is popularly known as Kill and Bury pleaded for lenience from the court on the day of his judgment. Alright. An Akwa Ibom State High Court has sentenced the traditional leader of Ibom in Akwa local government area of the state, Chief Isan Matthew Idong, to death by hanging. The court, meanwhile presided by Justice Idom Epam, ordered that the traditional leader be executed by hanging following the murder of one Udo Ubom. The Punch report, and based on what we have gathered, that Chief Idong, who is married to 12 women, has a total of 60 children, was standing trial on 4 counts of conspiracy, directing unlawful trial by ordeal, stealing of the motorcycle, and murder of the owner Udo Ubom. Meanwhile, in his judgment, Justice Ipan said that the court found Udong guilty of Ubom's murder by injecting a chemical substance which led to his death on April 26, 2017 on him. Alright, Justice Ipan also said that a submission was made by the prosecutor or by the prosecution that the late Ubom was accused by his brother of being a wizard. He was reported to the village head, who later summoned him before the council, where Ubom was administered on oath to swear and prove his innocence. How? The traditional leader ran away from the community since 2017. Justice Ibon held in his judgment that sentenced the consequences of his criminal activity. The traditional leader escaped from the community since 2017 but returned in 2019. He was meanwhile arrested by the police in the state and charged before the Akwa Ibom High Court. The judge said the accused had voluntarily admitted that he sat at Ifon Clan Council with 5 other village heads and members of the clan council to try the disease on the allegation of witchcraft, and the law has revealed the prosecution of the murder to prove the offense of conspiracy. Further giving out the court judgment, Iman said that the admission of the process of the trial and the decision of members of the Ifan Clan Council to administer an oath on the disease has locally brought to the conclusion on the death of Ubom. Alright, my good people, he said also that the court in its conclusion holds that a plastic fab or the plastic boat on the head of the late Ibom and the injection of some chemical substances through a syringe into the buttock by the village head led to his death. Following the address by the judge, the court sentenced Idong to death by hanging for murder, 7 years imprisonment with large labor for directing unlawful trial by ordeal, and 3 years imprisonment for conspiracy with others now at large. Meanwhile, it was also noted that shortly before the court read out his sentence, the village head, who is popularly known as Kill and Bury, pleaded for lenience. Odong asked the court to tamper justice with mercy. Trouble as police so caution prison officials of extortion before reminding suspect. Officials of the Nigerian Correctional Service had clear and earlier been accused of always extorting relatives of suspects to be reminded. The allegation against the prison officials was made by a deputy commissioner of police in Lagos State, Ibrahim Dango. In a letter to a controller general of the correctional service, said that officials of prison demand between 10,000 naira and 20,000 naira from suspect family members before admitting them into their facilities. Kuje prison attack. Senator Ali Ndume says Nigeria is in trouble, gives reasons. Well, Senator Ali Ndume had admonished and condoned the leadership of Nigeria for not taking responsibility for the attack on the Kuje prison facility. Ndume confirmed that the fundamental purpose of government, which is securing citizens' life and property, has been abundantly and abandoned by present administration. Adding to the lawmaker, he feels pained being a senator in the current situation that Nigeria is facing. Alright, my good people, a lot of things have been said in Akwa Ibom State. As it stands, it was reported to the village head, who later summoned the man before the council, where Ibom was administered an oath to swear and prove his innocence, knowing fully well that he wasn't guilty of the claim. Meanwhile, Justice Eban held on his judgment that sentenced the consequences of his criminal activities. The traditional leader escaped from the community since 2017, now returned 2019. You have seen that, and based on what you have gathered, this man married 12 women. In his judgment, by Justice Iban said that the court found Udong guilty of Ubom's murder by injecting a chemical substance which led to his death. They just want to terminate the life of this man, knowing fully well that he is innocent, and that led to the death on April 26, 2017. Thank God that courts have reviewed and he has pleaded guilty, but all the same, the court has taken its verdict as 85-year-old Nigerian traditional ruler sentenced to death by hanging. Well, it's so sympathetic, and it's a warning to everyone who is sitting in a leadership position not to soil his or her hands. The eye of the court is in you. Well, that has been onto this one, my good people, as the court convicted Chief Isan Matthew Idong of charges bordering on murder and 7 years imprisonment with hard labor for directing unlawful trial by ordeal, and 3 years imprisonment for conspiracy with others who are now at large. Alright, my good people, let me have your take onto this one, and remember to send your take. What else are we going to say but to send your take, your reactions, and then do well to subscribe if you're joining us very first time. Thanks and God bless.